Hello, Eric Nevin asked me to do a video about Aaron Macullom, so here we go. Aaron Macullom, super soldier. We've all heard of him interviewed on Project Camelot 2 times. I think I saw both of those interviews, and I also heard another interview that he did on some other radio show, some homophobic hillbilly dude who speaks in a sing-songy accent way. So Aaron Macullom is a super soldier. He's one of the guys who goes around killing people for defecting from MJ-12 and the black government. And he worked alongside Duncan O'Finian, who was also interviewed by Project Camelot. I think he was one of the first people interviewed by Project Camelot. And he was interviewed on Jesse Ventura's Conspiracy Theory TV show as well. He said he worked with some girl too. And he says they all suit up sometimes like G.I. Joe with the whole mask on. And you can't even tell that the girls are girls when they're suited up. So he had all sorts of different his stories about being a super soldier, which was interesting. I believe him. He speaks with a lot of integrity. His eyes move around a lot, and he blinks a lot, but he slurs a lot, and I think that's from him just being fucked with by the Illuminati New World Order bastards, as he calls them. In fact, he said when he was on the radio show with the guy, he said that, "Oh, forgive me, I'm slurring because I think I just came back from a mission." He was kind of like he was drunk or something, or it's kind of not like he was drunk, but like his tongue was numb or something. Because I guess what they do with his brain is he's a Manchurian candidate, which means that they put him into a trance, and he goes into another personality, and he does his mission, and then he comes back to who he is, and he's him again. Fuck it, I'll finish the video. My Dreamweaver just came back to life, but I'm already into the video, so and now actually, speaking of Manchurian candidates, I saw a freaking Manchurian candidate demonstration on YouTube on Jesse Ventura's Conspiracy Theory show. You should see it. It is freaking amazing. They have this guy. He's just some normal guy, and he's like, "Yeah, do the thing on me, do the hypnotizing thing on me." So somehow they hypnotize the dude, and then he comes out, and he's like another guy. You know, he seems totally normal, and they're like, "Okay, do something, pour hot coffee all over this guy right here." And he's like, "Okay." And then they go, "Okay, now I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, you're out of it. 1, 2, 3, you're out of it." Because when they first hypnotize the guy, he's like, "When I say 1, 2, 3, you're out of it, you're going to come out of the trance." So he goes, 1, 2, 3, you're out of it. And this is on film. And the guy goes, "Where am I?" And they're like, do you realize you just poured coffee all over him?" "What? Me? I don't remember anything. I mean," and he's like, "Oh my God, it worked." So it's like, what? Can you really hypnotize people like that? And that was apparently just from hypnotizing? What the hell was that? You know? Crazy. So if they can do that without drugs, imagine what they can do, because what they do with this guy, Aaron Macullom, what he says is they get like laser beams, they hook him up to like some kind of laser cathode thing, at least I think that's what he said, and they shoot laser beams into him, and they take memories out of his head, where the part of your brain that normally take memories, and then they put those memories in another part of his brain that's empty, that normally doesn't take memories, because I guess there's lots of parts in our brains that are like empty, you know, like we only has 10% of our brains or whatever, so there's lots of like empty parts. So they can like shift, like treating his brain like a computer with a bunch of hard drives and just dragging and dropping, you know, or like a bunch of folders, dragging and dropping memories from one folder to the next. And so that's why he was slurring, because his brain had just been dealing with like remembering stuff. So like anyway, he has like a really weird memory. Like he remembers, he actually remembers going on missions from before he was born. He was born in like 1979 or something. And but he remembers doing missions from like the 60s. and he doesn't even know why. So like maybe he like they took him out of one body. He was a super soldier from before, and when that super soldier died, they transferred the soul into this new body of him, and he just remembers or something. Because he's thinking perhaps he was even worked on brain surgery or something before he was even born, because he has like a birthmark on his forehead, and he said that his parents said that that was from a triceps grabbing his head, getting him out of his mama. But he doesn't know if that was him, or like that's what he heard. So like maybe he was worked on, but then his dad told him that. But then his dad said that that was his brother. Like his dad mixed up what happened to him and his brother. So his parents don't even know like the details of him. And I think he's like of his childhood. And I think he's like a third generation, like maybe not super soldier, but third generation worker in the system of the Illuminati or MJ-12 or what do you want to call it, black budget government. Like his mama and his father, and even like some of his like relatives and his grandparents. And I think, you know, a lot of these people, you know, Anna Hayes and all these kind of people say like it's all genetic. They take certain people because they have certain genes for certain stuff, and like I think it was him who said that whenever anybody's born in America or in the world, they take your blood type, and if you have a certain kind of blood type, then they like see you as a potential worker for the like black budget government, New World Order or whatever they call it, black government I'll call it for now. And I think he said his earliest memory, he was like 3 years old, and he remembers people going, "Ooh, I think we have a winner. This is him. This is what we won't want guys like this, like him." Like his parents took him to like a clinic or something when he was a baby and 3 years old, and they had him do a couple of tests. Like they dunked him underwater. I guess he's like, so he thinks perhaps he's like bioengineered to like be maybe he even has like part dolphin in him. He said that the Panamanian monster was half dolphin, half human. I actually mentioned that on another one of my videos. I think I was talking about Project Camelot, because somebody asked me to do a video about that, and then somebody commented and said, well, the Panamanian monster is just a sloth. So I don't know, maybe he got that confused, but he said that there's like dolphin human hybrid people, super soldiers out there, and perhaps he's one of them, because he says he can like hold his breath for a really long time underwater, and he like never gets cold or never gets hot. Like he has special powers as far as temperature, and anyways, he didn't go into any details on any specific missions, and I guess he feels like he's allowed to say a lot of stuff, but he's not allowed to say a lot of stuff. Like there's a limit to what he can say, so I guess that's why he doesn't just spill totally a bunch of beans, because you would think that he would be able to talk a lot more, but I guess he can't, because he feels it would be dangerous for him to say any more, or maybe he can't because his memories just aren't there, because he says he goes like months without remembering like what he did. Like 8 months he didn't remember anything, or he was this, and then 3 months later he was here, and he just doesn't know anything. And he says like sometimes he just wakes up like naked on a park bench, and like once the cops picked him up, and he just like didn't know how he got there or whatever. And but he said like some stuff that they do is like if they want to kill somebody or capture somebody, I guess more of the time they capture people, but sometimes they kill. But they would like go up to somebody, and they'd be like, when they're not looking, they'd like pour a couple of drops of some certain secret solution into their water, which puts them into a trance. And so then he walks up to him and he goes, "Hey, come with me. What's up, John? Hey, how's it going? Come with me."
Would you like a refill, sir?
Sure, thank you. All right, thanks.
You're very welcome.
And so they come with him. They listen to him and they come with him. And then they like get him in the truck or the helicopter or whatever, and then they take him back to the base. And he said that like when he was a kid, they took him on a journey on a special like some kind of like flying saucer. And he said he took a journey to like the Middle East or like Kazakhstan, and he got there in like a half hour. and like a black budget, like super like flying saucer type of like machine thing. And he said lots of stuff. Like he said, you know, he's at home base, you know, going to get the orders or whatever, and he like saw Syrian aliens off in the distance, and they're like regular size. Well, I guess there's different size. There's like 5'6" ones. Okay, so anyways, Aaron Macullom, he was talking about he was a super soldier, and he there, I'm gonna have to start over. Okay, so picking up from Aaron Macullom from before, I guess I don't have to time myself anymore because supposedly I get to have as many hours as I want with YouTube video, but whatever. I'm in the habit of timing myself. Yeah, so Aaron Macullom, okay, so yeah, he says that he saw like the Syrian aliens from the distance, and they were like blue-skinned people. And you know, the Syrians are the good ones, right? So if the Syrians are working with the black government, like what the hell does that mean? Does that mean that black government is good and that they're just protecting us, you know? Kind of like, remember like Eisenhower, he was approached by the good aliens and they were like, hey, you want to disclose? And he's like, nah, they're not ready. So maybe we're not ready, you know, and as soon as we're ready, as soon as we show everybody that we're ready, then the government can come clean, but the government can't come clean and doesn't want to come clean until then, so they just use super soldiers to protect us from ourselves, you know, so we don't, because it's true. A lot of motherfucking idiots out there think that the aliens are bad, dude. It's true. I mean, just look at all of the Hollywood movies. Every single frickin' Hollywood movie that comes out is about the evil aliens. Skyline. There's a new one coming out. There's like a TV show now. The evil aliens, the evil aliens, the evil aliens, you know? So it's like, fuck, man. Maybe we do need a black government to protect our asses from ourselves, you know? But whatever. Anyways, I think he, did he say anything about other aliens? I think he was the one I think he says, yeah, there's all kinds of aliens all over the place. But you know, it's like, I think he goes to like the conference, maybe he went to the Wake and Aware conference or whatever, and so then these people, you know, all these Project Camelot interviewees and stuff, they get together and they tell each other stuff. So, you know, a lot of what he believes and what these, you know, Camelot interviewees believe is what they tell each other. So it could have been, there could be a lot of like unintentional disinformation going on. So a lot of stuff he believes that not firsthand but secondhand, you know, because he thinks that the earthquake in Haiti was actually engineered. Oh shit, my computer is freaking out. Was engineered by the government. But he didn't say how he thought that, so maybe it was just hearsay amongst that group of people. But yeah, my computer's all fucked. So he, but anyways, I think he was the one who said stuff about autistic. The autistic people are actually engineered by the government by putting stuff, and he says, yeah, like don't ever get an injection because they're trying to kill us with that, and my God, I had a good train of thought going, but then I got interrupted. Oh yeah, but he says that, you know, he feels like he's protected because he said like one time he got really depressed about, you know, being a super soldier, being a victim, that he tried to kill himself. He took like all these like drugs, like sleeping pills and like I don't know what kind of drugs he took, but he said he made sure he was going to die. He took enough drugs to kill a freaking like elephant. And then he says next thing he remembers, he was waking up in the emergency room and the people were reading off the list of all the drugs he had in him, and they couldn't believe how he was still alive. Like they did the blood test and his blood was just filled with toxins, and somehow he survived, and he thinks he's protected by good aliens. Well, his quote was he's protected by something good. He doesn't know what it was, so I guess protected by the good aliens. And like another time he got hit by a car, and he thinks maybe that's an attempted assassination by the bad government who's pissed off at him for doing interviews or something, and he flew like 30 feet or something, but he got up and nothing was wrong, so like he was protected. somehow that way too. And so I don't know, maybe like it's this like battle between the good aliens and the bad aliens, and the bad aliens are trying to control the black government and keep the whole, like, you know, all that, because there is a whole lot of evil stuff, evil influence in this world, you know, like monetizing religion, now it's monetizing our food with Codex Alimentaris and the pharmaceutical industry and the and bioengineering, and then but also at the same time, you know, a lot of good stuff going on. So maybe he, like, you know, he's a victim of the evil aliens with the whole, like, manipulation, but then actually he's engineered by the good alien, like, you know, because he seems like a good person, you know. So maybe it was like the good alien scheme was to get a good soul incarnated into a body that was going to be used by the bad aliens, so then he could use, so that then he later on down the road he could spill the beans, because he's a good soul inside of a body that's being controlled by the bad aliens or whatever. I don't know, but I mean, if it's a genetic thing and they need certain people with certain genes, you know, like superpowered genes, like psychic genes and this kind of genes, well, the people with those kinds of genes, you would think, come from a good line of good bloodline of people, which means that good souls would be born into those bodies, so then you can't manipulate them. Yeah.
Sorry, I did that.
Guess I've had too much coffee.
There you go.
All right, thanks.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I'm pretty high strung. He opens the door and I'm like, whoa. So anyways, that's about all I remember. So that's what I think about here in Macullom. Super soldier.